Alright, this is the next video. You may notice I've undone a lot of the stuff I did up here. I took off the automatic choke linkage because the more I looked at this carburetor, I thought that probably wasting my time trying to get this thing to work and hoping that it was gonna perform and not leak. And once I took it off and looked at it, you can see where somebody's going in and they've nicked it and bent it and scratched it and whatever. So somebody's going into the thing probably more than once. And it was so tight. And this is a brass screw here, you know, so you don't have to go that tight. And there's a paper gasket, like basically paper. So I started taking it apart, and as soon as I started freed this up, and it took a lot of force to get this off, all this crud started just pouring out of where this jet goes in. So I'm expecting it to be very ugly up in here. So let's see if I'm right. So that's what it looks like. A lot of dirt, a lot of corrosion from ethanol gas. I don't know if you can see all that right there, but there's rust down in there. So this carburetor is shot. And let's take a look at this little jet here. And I can see light through one of the jets, but it's pretty mangled. So this thing is pretty mangled. I'm not even gonna try and save any of that. I don't think. I guess I could save in case I need one of these, I'll save the throttle plate. So I'll just grab that throttle plate here with the needle nose and pull that out, and then this slips out. And this is the way it went in, so that's the way it's gonna go back in. In case I ever need one of these, there it is. And if I ever need one of these, same thing. So I'm gonna grab this, pull out, and now I'm gonna lift straight up. And it's gonna go straight in like that. And that's how that one will go back in if I ever need a choke plate. The gasket's pretty mangled, so I don't think there's anything else worth saving on there. So the next thing I think I want to do is do a little housekeeping, get some of these leaves out of here. Go around the other side where I can sweep them off. Just clean that up a little bit. And so you and me, guys, are gonna find a new self-priming carburetor and put it on here. Let's see. So we got the flywheel in the right spot. Let's see, here's a brand new self-priming carburetor. Got the little gasket in there. Got my little carburetor. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is find the little carb screws. Find the little carb screws. They go there and there. And make sure they're clean and lubricated. And thread them in so that I do not run the risk of cross-threading. So I'm going to grab that screw there. I usually use vice grips for this, so I'm going to take a chance to get that trash can out of the way because I sure don't want falling into that. Okay, so do a few wipes with the brass brush. Oh, I heard it hit. I lost it. Here it is. Let me clean off the debris I probably just picked up. So brass brush here, there, and now threads. Just a little dab. That's all it takes right there. Okay, so now, in fact, it may be a little too much, so I'll dab that with a little rag. So I grab my carburetor, I turn it upside down because I don't want the oil going into any of those ports. And I start threading that one in. And then I do the same thing on the other side with the other little screw. And it is right here. Same situation, grab it. Vice grips are best for this, but I don't feel like going over there and trying to get them, so I'm just gonna grip hard. I'm gonna grip hard. Wipe, wipe, wipe. One little drop of oil. And now, turn the carburetor upside down and thread this in. And I'm gonna go in with my electric drill and get these where they're going in real nice and smooth before I install it. Okay, see it's getting tough right there, and that's because it's hitting the edge of that carb. So this one isn't going to do that because there's nothing for it to hit. That's going to go in very nicely. This side, it's going to be okay because these plates have a big buffer of plastic right there. So it's going to be okay. But at least it's going in and it's not cross-threading. So I'm going to back these out. And sometimes I drill this little hole out right there so this slides on easier. Let's see how this one's doing. Okay, that one is really better than usual. So that's great. But if you follow me, you know I always do this as a unit. I put the carb and the tank on as a unit. So we can get the tank. You look at the hose looks pretty okay. I'm gonna get it with a wire brush, but I'm gonna turn it upside down so any debris doesn't go inside the hose. You look for splits or cracks. I think this hose is gonna be okay. I mean, it feels pretty hard, but now the tank looks really clean. I'm gonna hope for the best. If I have to take it all apart, I'll clean it later. So I'm gonna put a little tiny drop of oil on that carb neck right there. Okay, and mush that around. Slip it on. Okay, so that's in there. So I got it facing the right direction. Push it a little further on there because I can still see some of that brass. There we go. And see if I can get the hose clamp in position. I should have my big pliers. I don't see them though. I'll try this. I need my big flat nose pliers. Hang on. This will grab that hose clamp real good and slide it over into position right there. All right. Managed to throw too much dirt in there. Okay, so now I turn the tank and the carburetor this way to get it on that L of that governor arm. And swing it up like that. And now I can put this on, but they do provide a replacement gasket, and since they were provided, I'm going to go ahead and put it on there. The one that's on there doesn't look bad, but I might as well replace it. This is nice and fat and new. Let me get a little knife here, get this one off. Yeah, it is kind of flat. Okay, so we put this one on. That one was on there real nice. There's my gasket, I don't want to lose that. Okay, so now I'm going to start slipping this carburetor into place. Make sure I don't get this throttle spring jammed in there. All right, so there we go. Now I need my special 3/8 head screws and have the base on the bottom that allows you to do this and have it line up really, really good. Got a couple of turns on that one. Looky there. Let's see if I can get me a 3/8 screw going in. Oops, that's the wrong way. There we go. Okay, now here's the other one. See if I can get it. I got it in place. There we go. Okay. Now let me get my hand ratchet and check the tightness of these. So that one is nice and snug, and this one is, I took a little bit more now, it's nice and snug. Okay, so what's next is I've got to reconnect the automatic choke arm that runs from that thermostat over there to the carburetor. And it fits, this little point fits right in that groove on the top of that carburetor. And that's what moves the choke plate, is this pivoting of that. See, now the choke plate is open, and that's because there's no spring on there. Now this is moving freely. I love that, because some of these new ones tend to bind, which is weird, but new ones do that sometimes. So key thing, gotta find that little spring. And here it is. And it's so special that I'm gonna take my gloves off for this, because I don't want to lose this thing. They go flying, and you don't find them. They're little, and they go a long way. So I'm gonna hook it over that point on this plate I showed you earlier, straight up and down. I got a grip on it here. And now I'll slip it around the hook there. See that? Beautiful. That's what you want. So the automatic choke should work fine. And I think we may be starting this mower pretty soon. I really, really do. The oil can is leaking here. That makes me a little unhappy. Tilted back now, so that'll help. Now, before I forget, I've got to connect this throttle spring right here, and it connects. I'm going to go under the automatic governor spring and find that little wire loop and hook it in. So now it's in there. There's, I think, pretty good tension on that. Throw away this ugly carburetor bowl, don't need that. And let me get my gloves back on. Get my gloves back on. And I need to attach the electricity to this camera because it's going dead. The camera is going dead. Okay, I think we're gonna have to take a pause here. So it won't be long.